If she share this, she is 100% in love with you. Watch before it's too late. Psychology tricks. Where there is love, there is life. Mahatma Gandhi. There is a level of sharing a woman does not give casually, and she certainly does not give it to just any man. She only gives it when her heart is fully in it, when her love is deep, real, and beyond denial. And no, I am not talking about something childish like a password or some surface level secret. I am talking about the kind of emotional exposure that is tender, unguarded, and so deeply personal that many men miss it even while it is happening right in front of them. That is the tragedy. The moment she is silently saying, "You matter to me more than you know," most men are still waiting for fireworks, speeches, and cinematic declarations that rarely come in real life. A study published in 2002-3 in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships reported that a large number of men fail to notice the moment a woman emotionally gives herself to them. Think about that. It means a man can be standing face to face with genuine love and still not recognize it for what it is. She may already be opening the deepest parts of herself to you, and yet you are still searching for proof in all the wrong places. So stay with this, because what I am about to show you is not obvious, and that is exactly why it matters. The final sign especially is powerful. That one draws a clear line between a woman who simply enjoys your presence and a woman who loves you so fiercely she would stand beside you against the world. Here is what most people get wrong. Men are often taught to imagine love as a dramatic event, a confession, a big speech, some unforgettable movie scene. It sounds romantic, but that is rarely how true love reveals itself. A woman in love usually does not proclaim it all at once. She reveals it in fragments, in subtle openings, in quiet moments, in the little things she begins to hand you without even realizing how much they mean. Love, for her, is often not a loud announcement. It is a series of soft offerings. And that is why this subject is so important. Because if you do not notice those offerings, if you do not value what she is quietly placing in your hands, she may slowly stop offering them at all. Not always because the love disappeared, but because the hope did. Because feeling ignored is painful. Because being deeply sincere with the wrong person teaches people to become careful. A woman who feels emotionally unseen does not always argue, complain, or slam the door. Sometimes she simply becomes still. She withdraws piece by piece, so gently that by the time you notice, the distance is already there. So in this video, we are going to uncover the exact things a woman tends to share only when her love is sincere, deep, and complete. Some signs will surprise you. Some may make you rethink your past relationships. And the last one may hit you harder than expected because once you understand it, you will never look at a woman's quiet vulnerability the same way again. 1. Her childhood wounds. There is a moment most men completely misunderstand, and if you miss it, you miss everything. Because when a woman begins to share her childhood wounds, not the polished stories, but the raw, uncomfortable truths, that is not conversation. That is trust in its purest form. It is one of those powerful psychology tricks hidden inside female psychology that reveals exactly how to fall in love on a deeper level, and you must learn to recognize it. When she talks about the nights her home didn't feel safe, when she admits the fears she still carries, when her voice softens or trembles slightly as she explains why certain things trigger her, don't take it lightly. Don't brush past it, and most importantly, don't interrupt it. That is not casual storytelling. That is her opening a door she keeps locked for most people. And understand this clearly, she has likely replayed those words in her mind many times before ever saying them to you. She has measured the risk. She has questioned whether you are safe enough. So when she finally speaks, you must be present. You must listen. That is the moment that separates men who truly understand female psychology from those who simply go through the motions without ever building real connection. Now here is where most men get it wrong. They hear pain and they rush to fix it. They shift into problem-solving mode as if they are repairing a machine. Don't do that. Don't jump in with advice. Don't minimize it with logic. Don't say, "That was a long time ago," or "You should move on." That is a mistake. That is where connection dies quietly. because what she is offering you is not a problem to solve, it is an experience to witness. You must understand this if you want to truly learn how to fall in love in a way that lasts. A woman does not open her emotional history to just anyone. She does it when she feels safe, when she feels seen, when she believes, deep down, that you will not use her truth against her. These are not just words. This is one of the deepest psychology tricks embedded in female psychology. It is her way of saying, without saying it directly, I trust you with who I really am. Be calm. Be grounded. That is what she needs. Sit with her words without trying to change them. Let her feel that you are there, not to control the moment, not to direct it, but to hold space for it. That is strength. That is emotional intelligence. You must realize that presence is more powerful than solutions. Silence, when it is attentive and respectful, can be more healing than 100 pieces of advice. When she shares something painful, your role is not to lead her out of it. It is to stand beside her while she walks through it. That is how emotional bonds are formed. That is how trust becomes something real. And here is something most men never consider. If she is telling you about her wounds, she is also testing the future. She is asking quietly, will you hurt me the same way? Not with words, but with your reaction. So your response matters more than you think. If you dismiss her, she will close off. If you judge her, she will retreat. But if you listen, truly listen, you become someone she associates with safety. And safety is the foundation of love. This is not guesswork. This is how to fall in love in a way that is rooted in understanding, not just attraction. Don't underestimate the courage it takes for her to open up. Many people carry emotional scars for years without ever speaking about them. So when she chooses you as the person to hear her story, that is not random. That is intentional. That is meaningful. That is her stepping out of her comfort zone because she feels something with you that she doesn't feel with others. And you must honor that. Not with grand gestures, not with dramatic reactions, but with steady attention, with respect, with patience. So remember this clearly. When a woman shares her childhood wounds, don't fix, don't rush, don't analyze. Be present, be steady, be someone she can trust in that moment. Because in the language of female psychology, that moment is louder than any I love you she could ever say. It is one of the clearest psychology tricks that reveals emotional commitment. And if you handle it right, you are not just hearing her story, you are becoming part of a deeper connection that very few men ever truly experience. 2. Her insecurities about her body. There is a moment most men completely misunderstand, and if you miss it, you don't just lose an opportunity, you lose a level of connection that may never come back. It starts quietly. No grand speech. No dramatic confession. Just a simple sentence like, I hate my arms, or I feel so bloated today, or I don't feel pretty right now. And you might be tempted to brush it off, to laugh it away, to throw out a quick compliment and move on. Don't. That is where most men fail. That is where a high-value man separates himself from the crowd. We live in a world where women are constantly performing confidence. Filters, angles, perfect lighting, carefully chosen outfits. It is a full-time production. Every photo is curated. Every detail is adjusted. So when a woman stands in front of you without makeup, in sweatpants, under the worst lighting possible, and she lets that mask drop, that is not casual. That is not random. That is intentional vulnerability. Be aware of that. Be present in that moment. That is not insecurity being thrown at you. That is trust being placed in your hands. And here is the truth most men never learn. When she says something negative about her body, she is not asking, do I look good? She is asking, will you still see me the same way now that you've seen what I'm afraid of? That is the real question. That is the test. And if you answer the wrong question, you lose. Don't respond mechanically. Don't give empty reassurance. She can feel the difference instantly. Women are incredibly attuned to emotional authenticity. If your words are hollow, your tone will expose you. A study from the International Journal of Eating Disorders revealed that over 91% of women struggle with body dissatisfaction. Think about that. Almost every woman you have ever met is carrying a silent battle in her mind. a private war. And most of the time, you will never see it. She hides it well. She has practiced hiding it for years. So if she chooses you as the person to reveal that to, understand the weight of that decision. That is not casual conversation. That is emotional exposure. That is her stepping out from behind the curtain and saying, "This is me without defense." You must treat that moment with precision, with care, with presence. This is where your masculine energy is tested, not in how loud you are, not in how impressive you appear, but in how steady you remain when she is vulnerable. Don't panic. Don't overreact. Don't turn it into a performance where you try too hard to fix everything. Be grounded. Be calm. That is what makes you a high-value man. Your ability to hold emotional space without losing yourself. And listen carefully, your response will be remembered. Not for a few days, not for a few weeks, permanently. Women store these moments. There is a mental record, a quiet filing system where your reaction gets placed. The first time she shows you her insecurity becomes a reference point for how safe you are. That is not an exaggeration. That is reality. If you dismiss her, she will remember. If you mock her, she will remember. If you give shallow, automatic compliments, she will remember. And once that impression is set, it is incredibly difficult to change. So what should you do? Be real. That is it. Look at her. Not at the problem she mentioned, but at her as a whole person. Speak with sincerity. Not exaggerated praise. Not rehearsed lines. Just truth. Let your tone carry weight. Let your presence communicate safety. Sometimes, fewer words are more powerful. Sometimes, a calm, "I see you differently than you see yourself," delivered with genuine energy is stronger than a paragraph of forced compliments. This is how you attract women on a deeper level, not with tricks, not with lines, but with emotional intelligence, with awareness, with the ability to recognize when a moment actually matters. Most men miss it because they are distracted, because they are uncomfortable with vulnerability, because they rush to escape the tension instead of leaning into it. Don't be that man. Be the man who understands that attraction is not just about appearance or status. It is about how a woman feels in your presence. Safe or judged, seen or dismissed, accepted or evaluated. That is where your masculine energy becomes powerful, quiet, grounded, unshaken. And here is the final truth you need to carry with you. When she shares her insecurities, she is handing you something fragile. Not because she is fragile, but because the moment is. Handle it carelessly, and it breaks. Handle it with awareness, and it strengthens the bond between you in a way that no surface-level interaction ever could. So don't miss it. Don't downplay it. Don't treat it like just another comment. That moment is everything. And if this hit you, don't just scroll past it, own it. Drop this in the comments right now. I see her truth, and I protect it. Because a woman doesn't show you her insecurities by accident. That is her lowering the shield. That is her saying, "This is the part of me I'm afraid you won't accept." Don't miss that moment. Don't fumble it. Be the man who understands what's really being given. Like the video, subscribe for more real insight, and remember, when she shows you her flaws, she's not losing value, she's choosing you. 3. Her silence. Her silence. Read that again. Her silence. Not her words. Not her laughter. Not her attention. Her silence. Because when a woman chooses to sit with you in complete quiet, no phone, no distraction, no urge to escape the moment, that is not emptiness. That is trust at its highest level. And if you don't understand this, you will miss one of the deepest signs of love right in front of you. Modern life has trained you to fear silence, to fill every gap with noise, with talking, with proving, with performing. But real connection does not need performance, it needs presence. And as the philosopher Blaise Pascal once said, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. And here is the truth most men overlook. If she can sit quietly with you, it means she does not feel alone when she is with you. That is rare. That is powerful. That is love expressed without a single word. And psychology calls this comfortable silence, a state where two people share space without anxiety, without pressure, without the need to impress. And in a world addicted to stimulation, this kind of silence is not common, it is earned. So when she leans back, when she relaxes, when she breathes slower around you, when she stops trying to entertain or impress you, do not misinterpret it as boredom. Do not rush to fill the gap. Do not break the moment. Because that silence is her saying, I trust you enough to just be. And that is where most men fail. They panic, they talk too much, they try to fix what is not broken, they destroy what was already perfect. Understand this clearly. Her silence is not awkward. Her silence is not distance. Her silence is not disinterest. Her silence is connection. Her silence is comfort. Her silence is emotional safety. And if you are a man who carries an iron mind, a man grounded in old Stoic wisdom, a man who lives what Stoicism win represents, then you do not chase noise, you do not fear stillness, you do not interrupt peace. You hold it, you protect it, you become it. Think about your daily life, the constant notifications, the endless conversations, the pressure to always say something, to always be on. And then suddenly you are with her, and everything slows down, everything softens, everything becomes quiet. That is not coincidence, that is alignment. And as Lao Tzu taught, silence is a source of great strength. And this is where you separate yourself from the average man. You do not mistake calm for lack of interest. You recognize it as a deeper level of connection. You sit there with her, grounded, steady, present, not reaching for your phone, not forcing conversation, not trying to entertain, because your presence is enough, your energy is enough, your calm is enough. And this is what creates attraction that lasts. This is what builds bonds that do not break under pressure. Repeat this in your mind. Her silence is a gift. Her silence is trust. Her silence is love. And if you can meet her in that silence without fear, without insecurity, without the need to fill it, you become the man she feels safe with, the man she opens up to, the man she chooses long term. This is old Stoic wisdom in action. Control yourself, master your emotions, do not react out of discomfort, because discomfort is often just a sign that you are stepping into something deeper. An iron mind does not run from silence. It embraces it, it understands it, it uses it as a space to connect beyond words. And that is why Stoicism win is not just about strength and chaos, it is about calm and stillness. So next time you are with her and the conversation fades, do not panic, do not rush, do not break the moment. Instead, breathe, relax, stay present, let the silence speak. Because in that silence, she is telling you everything you need to know. She feels safe, she feels at ease, she feels at home. And if you can hold that space without needing to control it, you are already winning in a way most men never will. 4. Her future with you in it. When a woman begins to speak about the future and you hear yourself in it, do not brush it off as casual conversation. Do not laugh it away, and do not assume it means nothing, because this is where most men miss the moment completely. This is where real connection quietly reveals itself through subtle psychology tricks that only a man who understands female psychology will recognize. When she says something like, "We should go there next summer," or "when we have a place of our own," or even something simple like, "You would enjoy my cousin's wedding in October," that is not small talk. That is not random imagination. That is intention wrapped in softness, and you must understand what is happening beneath the surface. She is placing you in her timeline. She is mentally weaving you into her life months ahead, sometimes years ahead, and that is not something a woman does lightly, because in female psychology, the future is sacred territory. It is where safety, trust, and emotional investment live. Do not ignore that. Pay attention. This is one of the most powerful psychology tricks of attraction that many men overlook, because it does not come with loud signals or dramatic declarations. It comes quietly, almost invisibly, through her words. Be aware. Be present. When her language shifts from I to we, from me to us, that is not just vocabulary, that is emotional commitment taking form. That is her saying, without saying it directly, I see you beside me, not just today, but tomorrow. And here is where you must respond like a grounded, self aware man. Do not panic, do not overreact, do not rush to label it, but also do not dismiss it. Acknowledge it with calm confidence. Meet her energy without overwhelming it. If she says, we should travel there next summer, do not deflect with uncertainty. Do not shrink back. Instead, lean into it with quiet strength and say, yeah, that sounds like something we'd enjoy. That is how you reinforce connection without pressure. That is how you show emotional intelligence. Because understanding how to fall in love is not about grand gestures, it is about recognizing these subtle openings and responding with steadiness. Most men fail here. They either ignore it or they overanalyze it. Do neither. Stay balanced. Stay centered. Remember this. A woman in love begins to build a shared world in her mind before she ever announces it out loud. She tests that world through her words. She invites you into it piece by piece. If you are careless, you will miss the invitation. If you are too intense, you will disrupt it. So be calm. Be aware. Be intentional. This is where female psychology becomes clear. She is not just talking about events. She is expressing emotional security. She is showing you that she can imagine stability with you, that she feels safe enough to extend her timeline beyond the present moment. And safety is everything. Without it, love does not grow. Without it, attraction fades. That is why these small phrases carry so much weight. They are not random. They are signals. They are quiet confirmations that she is moving toward you, not away from you. So do not underestimate them. Do not overlook them. Use these psychology tricks not to manipulate, but to understand, to read between the lines, to become the kind of man who notices what others miss. Because when you understand how to fall in love from a place of awareness, you stop chasing obvious signs and start recognizing meaningful ones. You begin to see that love is not loud, it is consistent. It is not forced, it is natural. And it reveals itself in moments like this, when a woman gently places you into her future and watches how you respond. That is your test. That is your opportunity. Step into it with calm confidence. Stay grounded. Stay present. And most importantly, do not miss what is right in front of you. If you're paying attention, you'll realize this is not casual talk. This is commitment in disguise. Don't ignore it. Don't downplay it. When she starts speaking in we, she's already chosen you. That is your moment to step up, to lead, to match her vision with strength and clarity. If this hit you, take action now, like the video, subscribe for more grounded, powerful insights, and lock this truth into your mind. Comment this below to remind yourself, when she speaks in we, I step up as the man she sees in her future. 5. Her past relationship pain. Her past relationship pain is not small talk. It is not casual conversation. It is not drama. It is data. When a woman sits with you and says, this is what I went through, when she tells you about the betrayal, the nights she cried herself to sleep, the moments she felt unseen, unheard, or taken for granted, understand this clearly. She is not reliving the past for attention. She is handing you a blueprint, a precise, emotional map of where she was hurt, how she was hurt, and what must never happen again. That is not weakness. That is trust at its rawest level. Most men miss this moment. They hear the story, but they do not read between the lines. Don't make that mistake. Don't brush it off with a quick, that's crazy, or he was an idiot. That is shallow. That is lazy. That is how you lose her without even realizing it. Be the man who listens deeper. Be the man who understands that behind every sentence is a silent message. Please don't do this to me. That is what she is really saying. That is what you must hear. A high-value man knows that when a woman reveals her past pain, she is not looking for you to fix it. She is watching how you respond to it. Your reaction is the test. Not your words alone, but your presence, your patience, your emotional control. That is where masculine energy shows up, not in control, not in force, but in calm understanding. You must be steady. You must be grounded. You must show her, without saying it directly, that you are not the same man who hurt her before. Think about it this way. If someone hands you a map marked with every danger they have ever faced, would you ignore it? Or would you study it carefully? Her story is that map. It shows you where trust was broken, where respect was missing, where communication failed. And if you are wise, if you truly want to attract women on a deeper level, you will use that map to guide your behavior, not out of fear, but out of awareness. Don't interrupt her when she speaks about it. Don't rush her. Don't try to turn it into a joke to lighten the mood. That is not leadership. That is avoidance. Be present. Let her finish. Let her feel heard. Because the truth is simple, most people are not used to being truly heard. And when you give her that space, when you allow her to express without judgment, something powerful happens. She begins to feel safe. And safety is the foundation of connection. But understand this, listening is not enough. You must apply what you learn. If she tells you she was ignored, don't disappear for days without explanation. If she tells you she felt disrespected, don't speak carelessly when you are upset. If she tells you she was lied to, don't play games with the truth. This is where many men fail. They listen, they nod, they say the right things, and then they repeat the same patterns. Don't be that man. That is how doors close. A high-value man acts with intention. He takes information and turns it into action. That is masculine energy in motion. Quiet, consistent, reliable. Not loud promises, but steady behavior. That is what builds trust over time. That is what makes a woman relax her guard and open up even more. And here is something deeper. When she shares her pain, she is also revealing her strength. She survived it. She learned from it. She grew through it. So don't look at her as someone broken. See her as someone refined by experience. And treat that experience with respect. Because if you handle it carelessly, she will not explain it twice. She will simply step back. You must also be aware of your role in this dynamic. You are not there to compete with her past. You are not there to prove you are better than the last man. That mindset will lead you into insecurity. Instead, focus on being consistent. Focus on being aligned. Focus on being the kind of man whose actions naturally create trust. That is how you attract women who are ready for something real. And remember this, when a woman shares her past pain, she is watching for one thing above all, emotional safety. Can you handle her truth without judgment? Can you stay calm when things get heavy? Can you remain grounded when emotions rise? That is masculine energy at its highest level. Not control over her, but control over yourself. If you dismiss her story, she will build walls. Quietly, gradually. You may not even notice it at first. She will smile, she will talk, but something will shift. Distance will grow. And once those walls are fully built, it becomes very hard to break through. But if you understand her, if you respect her vulnerability, if you respond with depth and presence, she will open doors you did not even know existed. Doors to trust, doors to intimacy, doors to a connection that feels effortless because it is built on something real. So listen carefully, observe deeply, act intentionally. That is the path. That is how a high-value man moves. That is how you attract women who are not just interested, but invested. 6. Her embarrassing habits and guilty pleasures. When a woman lets you see her embarrassing habits and guilty pleasures, the reality shows she would never admit to her friends the way she talks to her pet like a child. The quiet midnight rituals like eating cereal over the sink understand this clearly. She is not being random, and she is not being careless. She is being real. And in today's world, real is rare. In a culture built on filters, curated images, and carefully managed impressions, what she is offering you is something most people never reveal. This is her unfiltered self. No performance, no editing, just truth. And you must recognize the weight of that moment. As Carl Jung once said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. In that moment, she is doing exactly that with you. That is not small. That is not casual. That is trust in its purest form. Do not dismiss it. Do not laugh it off carelessly. Do not treat it like entertainment. Be steady. Be grounded. Be the man who understands what is being placed in his hands. Because what she is really saying is simple and powerful. This is me. I trust you not to make me feel small for it. And that is where most men fail, not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack awareness. They miss the depth behind simple moments. They overlook what matters. But you must not. You must see clearly. You must think deeper. This is where old Stoic wisdom becomes your advantage. A man who practices old Stoic wisdom understands that people reveal themselves in layers, not all at once. He knows that trust is earned in quiet moments, not grand gestures. He knows that emotional safety is built, not demanded. And if you want to win, not just in relationships, but in life, this is where Stoicism win becomes real. You hold your reaction. You choose respect. You create space where she feels safe to be herself again. That is power. That is control. That is an iron mind in action. Remember this. People only reveal their unpolished side to those they feel safe with. Not to impress, not to perform, but to rest. And if she can rest in your presence, you are already ahead of most men. Do not ruin it by trying to be clever. Do not turn her vulnerability into a joke. Be calm. Be grounded. Be the man who makes her feel understood without needing to explain herself. As Marcus Aurelius taught, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This is one of those moments. This is where you prove it, not with words, but with your presence, your reaction, your restraint. Modern life is noisy. Everyone is trying to impress, to stand out, to appear perfect. But deep connection does not come from perfection. It comes from acceptance. It comes from allowing someone to be fully seen without fear. And when she shows you her awkward, unfiltered habits, she is giving you access to that deeper layer. That is not common. That is not something you get twice if you mishandle it. So understand the assignment. Protect that space. Respect that truth. Respond with quiet confidence. You do not need to overreact. You do not need to praise excessively. Just accept it naturally. That is what creates comfort. That is what builds attraction that lasts. Because a woman will always remember how you made her feel when she was most exposed, most unguarded, most real. And if she felt safe, she will come closer. If she felt judged, she will slowly pull away. It is that simple. It is always that simple. This is why Stoicism win is not just philosophy, it is practical power. It teaches you discipline in your reactions. It teaches you emotional control. It builds an iron mind that does not get shaken by small things, that does not mock what it does not understand, that does not destroy what it should protect. And when you live this way, you naturally become the man people trust, the man people open up to, the man people feel safe around. So take this seriously. When she shows you her imperfect side, do not see it as weakness. See it as intimacy. See it as access. See it as a test, not of your humor, but of your character. And cast that test with quiet strength. Because in the end, relationships are not built on perfection. They're built on truth, accepted without resistance. And the man who understands that, the man who lives it, that man does not chase connection. He attracts it, keeps it, and leads it with calm, steady power. If you understand what this really means, then don't take it lightly, because a woman only shows this side when she feels safe, when she trusts you, when she chooses you. Most men miss this. Most men laugh, judge, or overlook it. Don't be most men. Be the one who sees the truth behind her actions. If you're that man, prove it. Drop this in the comments right now. I respect her truth, and I never make her feel small. 7. Her financial reality. Her financial reality is not small talk. It is not casual conversation. It is one of the deepest doors a woman can open, and most men miss it completely. Understand this clearly. Money sits at the core of survival, security, and identity. People hide it. They protect it. They feel judged by it. So when a woman sits with you and begins to share her debt, her financial pressure, her past mistakes, or even her success mixed with quiet fear, that is not random honesty. That is intentional vulnerability. That is trust at a level most people never reach. Don't brush it off. Don't joke about it. Don't try to immediately fix it. Be present. Listen carefully. Because in that moment, she is not just talking about numbers. She is revealing how she thinks, how she plans, how she fears, and how she survives in the real world. That is female psychology at its rawest form. That is one of the most powerful psychology tricks you will ever witness if you know how to read it. Many men think attraction is about looks, charm, or clever words. That is surface level thinking. Real connection begins when life becomes part of the conversation. And nothing is more real than money. So when she opens up about her financial reality, she is showing you something deeper, her long term mindset. She is asking, without saying it directly, can you handle the truth of my life? That is the question. That is the test. You must understand this if you want to master how to fall in love in a way that actually lasts. Because love is not built on perfect moments, it is built on shared reality, shared pressure, shared truth. Don't interrupt her with advice too quickly. Don't turn it into a lecture. That is where most men fail. They hear problem and switch into solution mode. Stop. That is not what she needs first. She needs emotional safety. She needs to feel that she can speak without being judged or corrected. Be calm. Be grounded. That is strength. That is control. Say less. Listen more. Because when a woman talks about money, she is exposing her fears about stability, about the future, about whether she can trust someone to stand beside her without running away. And if you react with patience and understanding, you separate yourself from every other man who only shows up when things are easy. This is where psychology tricks and emotional intelligence meet. You don't win her over by impressing her. You win her over by handling her truth with care. That is how to fall in love at a deeper level, not through performance, but through presence. And understand this, when she shares financial struggles, she is not asking you to rescue her. She is observing you, watching how you respond, watching if you become uncomfortable, watching if you judge, watching if you stay steady. That is female psychology in motion. Quiet, observant, always evaluating. If she shares her success instead, her income, her achievements, her independence, pay attention there too. Because that kind of honesty carries a different kind of fear. The fear of being misunderstood. The fear of being valued only for what she has. The fear of attracting the wrong kind of attention. So don't compete. Don't try to prove yourself. Don't shrink either. Stand firm. Respect her success. Acknowledge it without insecurity. That is how you show maturity. That is how you show that you understand how to fall in love without losing yourself. Money conversations reveal character. Not just hers, but yours. Your reaction tells her everything she needs to know about your mindset, your confidence, and your emotional control. That is why this moment matters so much. It is not about dollars. It is about direction. It is about whether two people can face reality together without tension, without ego, without fear. That is rare. That is powerful. Most men chase attraction. Few men build trust. And trust is built in moments like this. Quiet moments. Honest moments. Real conversations that don't look exciting on the surface, but carry deep meaning underneath. So don't miss it. Don't overlook it. When she lets you see her financial world, she is not just opening a topic, she is opening a door. And she is watching closely to see if you walk through it with awareness, or if you stumble because you were too focused on the surface. This is why understanding psychology tricks is not about manipulation. It is about awareness. It is about seeing what others don't see, hearing what others ignore, feeling what others dismiss. That is the difference between a man who connects deeply and a man who stays stuck in shallow cycles. If you want to understand female psychology, start here. Pay attention to what she risks when she speaks. Because vulnerability always comes with risk. And when she takes that risk with you, it means she sees potential, not perfection. Potential. So be the man who can hold that space. Be the man who doesn't panic, doesn't judge, doesn't rush. That is strength. That is presence. That is how to fall in love in a way that is real, grounded, and lasting. And once you understand this, you will never look at these conversations the same way again. 8. Her fear of losing you. Her fear of losing you is not a flaw. Don't misunderstand it. Don't dismiss it as insecurity. Be sharp enough to see it for what it really is. When a woman looks at you and quietly admits, I'm scared this is too good to be true, or says, I'm afraid you might leave, or even pulls you just a little closer after a disagreement, that is not drama. That is not confusion. That is love, raw and unfiltered. That is a moment where she lowers every shield she has spent years building. Think about that. A woman does not arrive at that point easily. She has learned over time to protect herself, to stay composed, to appear strong and independent. She has been told to never need too much, to never risk too much, to never show too much. And yet, in front of you, she breaks those rules. She chooses truth over protection. That is not something casual. That is something earned. Understand this clearly. A high-value man does not run from that moment. He does not shrink. He does not mock it or brush it off with humor. He recognizes the weight of it. Because when she says she fears losing you, she is revealing something deeper than affection. She is revealing attachment, emotional investment, and the quiet hope that you are not like the rest. That is the kind of moment most men miss. They hear the words, but fail to feel the meaning. Don't be that man. Be present. Be aware. That is how you begin to truly attract women, not with surface-level charm, but with depth, with awareness, with masculine energy that remains calm under emotional truth. And let's be honest, fear only shows up where something valuable exists. People do not fear losing what means nothing to them. So when she expresses that fear, she is indirectly telling you your place in her life. You matter. You have become part of her emotional world. That is not something to take lightly. That is not something to play with. A high-value man understands that love is not proven through loud words or grand gestures alone. It is proven in these quiet, vulnerable confessions. It is proven in the moments where someone risks being seen completely. Now listen carefully. Don't react by pulling away. Don't react by becoming distant because you feel pressure. That is where many men fail. They interpret vulnerability as responsibility they are not ready for, and instead of rising, they retreat. Don't do that. Be steady. Be grounded. That is masculine energy at its finest. You don't need to fix her fear. You don't need to promise forever in that exact moment. But you must acknowledge it. You must respect it. That is how you attract women who are not just interested, but deeply connected. And here is something even more important. When she holds onto you a little tighter after a disagreement, pay attention. That is not her trying to control you. That is her trying not to lose the connection. That is her choosing closeness over distance, even when things are imperfect. That is maturity. That is emotional courage. In a world where many people walk away at the first sign of discomfort, she leans in. That tells you everything. Don't overlook it. Don't take it for granted. Be the man who can handle that level of honesty. Be the man who doesn't panic when emotions become real. Because the truth is simple. If you want to be a high-value man, you must be able to hold space for real feelings. Not just the easy ones. Not just the fun ones. But also the uncertain, fragile, human ones. That is where real connection lives. That is where respect is built. That is where masculine energy shows its true strength, not in control, but in calm presence. And let's make one thing clear. Her fear is not a sign that she doubts you. It is a sign that she values you. There is a difference. Don't confuse the two. She is not questioning your worth. She is reacting to how much you mean to her. That is a powerful distinction. And if you understand that, you move differently. You speak differently. You lead differently. You become the kind of man who doesn't just attract women, but keeps them, inspires them, and creates something real with them. So, what should you do in that moment? Be calm. Be reassuring, not with empty promises, but with consistent actions. That is what builds trust. Words fade. Actions stay. If you say you care, show it. If you say you're there, prove it. Not once, not twice, but over time. That is how her fear slowly transforms into peace. That is how love deepens. And remember this. You must never exploit that vulnerability. Don't use it to gain control. Don't use it to test her limits. That is not strength. That is insecurity disguised as power. Real masculine energy does not need to manipulate. It stands firm in integrity. It protects what is genuine. It respects what is given freely. In the end, her fear of losing you is not something to fix. It is something to understand. It is a window into her heart, a quiet confession that says, "You matter to me more than I expected." And when you hear that, whether in words or actions, you must rise to the level of that truth. Be the man who sees it. Be the man who respects it. Be the man who doesn't run from it. Because that is the difference between a man who simply dates and a high-value man who truly knows how to attract women, sustain connection, and embody masculine energy in a way that leaves a lasting impact. All right, my friend, if you've stayed with me until this moment, let me speak to you plainly, man to man. A woman doesn't open her heart like that for just anyone. When she shows you her wounds, her fears, her little imperfections, and even her dreams about the future, she is not just talking. She is choosing you, quietly, deeply, on purpose. So don't take it lightly. Don't brush it off. And don't wait until it's gone to realize what you had. Be present. That is your first duty. Listen, not just to her words, but to what she feels behind them. Respect her trust. Protect it. Grow into the kind of man who deserves it. Because the truth is simple. The man who keeps her is not the luckiest man. He is the one who pays attention, the one who understands, the one who shows up. Take this seriously. Move with awareness. And don't miss what is right in front of you. I appreciate you being here, truly. Stay sharp, stay grounded, and I'll see you in the next one.